Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your drowsy host, Brady Vini. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Had a jam-packed night last night. We were live streaming, breaking down all of the latest breaking news surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency and the trade they made, the signings that they made as well. More on that to talk about here this evening. And then we rolled right into an exciting baseball game last night, Team USA versus Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. There was one man that was pitching that we tuned in to see, and he did not disappoint, that being Paul Skenes. Here in a few moments, we are going to start off the show picking up where we left off last night with that game, evaluating Paul Skenes' performance, talking about how great he is in Team USA baseball a little bit. After that, we will get back into Pittsburgh Steelers free agency talk. We had one signing last night, right as we went at the end of our first live stream from Monday night. Since then, two more signings have been made, one on the defensive line and one a familiar face coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also so happens to look like a comedian. So the latest going on with the Steelers, the moves they are making, and the moves that they could possibly make, including at middle linebacker and quarterback. We will talk about that after those two things. It's going to be a quick one here today. We're going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news, talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Penguins and the game they have here tonight. Puck drop in that game about an hour and a half away. Also, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they played another spring training game last night as we are live. We'll talk about that too, and anything else that so happens to interest us. But before we get things going officially here on this Tuesday evening, if you are new here, welcome to the Steel City Sports Report. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel again. Also, like this live stream, share this live stream, and in the comment section, any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, please get those in there. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks when you do. We will get into that comment section here in one moment. Also, if you would please go check out the channel at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and come back a little bit later on tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. I'm gonna try to jam pack everything from the weekend and yesterday into one SCSR 60. Wish me luck on that, but it will be out at some point later on tonight. To the comment section we go to begin the show here today. Concepts, what is going on? Hope you're having a great day. Shame to see Dobbs go to the Patriots. Was hoping we double dip, but he got paid. The same thing with Elijah Vera Tucker. I wonder if Elgton Jenkins is a real option at guard here. I would think so, that Jenkins will be a guard. I wouldn't see why not. I know he's got that center guard versatility, but I think he's more naturally a left guard, which just so happens to be the biggest hole on the Steelers' offensive line right now, with Isaac Seumalo departing for free agency. But you do bring up Vera Tucker, you do bring up Romeo Dobbs. We'll get to those in the extra Pittsburgh sports news of the day. Going to focus free agency, our free agency segment on the Steelers. Going to stick it to stuff specifically about the Steelers, but surely those other guys that could fill holes for Steelers on their roster. We'll talk about that as well. Glad to have you here, Concepts. And of course, your first comment here of the night, finally addressing the punter issue. You've been at the head. We got to address punter. No need to use a first round pick on a punter anymore, Concepts. But now, BPA is on the table to shore up the depth there. Best player available all day long. No need to spend a first round pick on it. I think we might be able to live with making it to the second round before we get a punter, now that Bill Berg is back in the building. 7 of you in here to begin the live stream here tonight. We will get into the Pittsburgh Steelers here in one moment. But to begin the show here, we're just going to pick up, like I said, where we left off last night, and that is with the World Baseball Classic and Team USA. We're going to celebrate here to begin this Tuesday. Celebrate that we just so happen to live in the greatest country in the world, in the greatest baseball country in the world, and the greatest pitcher from the greatest baseball country in the world is a Pittsburgh Pirate. Paul Skenes, last night, World Baseball Classic action. Would you expect anything else? Dominance from one Mr. Skenes. He pitching in his first ever World Baseball Classic. He said it was an easy decision. Him with his Air Force Academy background, it was the easiest decision for him to decide to go pitch for Team USA in the WBC. I'm sure tons of players followed him in that patriotic movement to go represent the country. And Skenes did not disappoint. Went out there, faced a underrated Team Mexico lineup. There is still a good bit of MLB players on that Team Mexico roster. Jaron Duran, Randy Rosarena, Alejandro Kirk, Skenes' current teammate Nick Gonzalez, a former teammate Rowdy Tellez. Didn't matter who Mexico threw Skenes' way. He lined them up and mowed them down last night. Began the game against the all-star of the Team Mexico, Jaron Duran, 90-mile-an-hour changeup, absolutely filthy. Got the swing and miss there. That was the first strikeout of the first inning. Skenes ended up going 3 up, 3 down in the first, and that was the first of 7 strikeouts for one Paul Skenes last night. Pitched 4 innings. I think he threw around 60 pitches, somewhere in that neighborhood. No more than 60, I don't think. So definitely was on a pitch limit. If this was, mid-June, you'd be seeing Skenes go back out there for at least another 2 innings. Who the hell knows? Maybe even 3, the way he was dealing. But 4 innings pitched last night for Paul Skenes. Only allowed 1 hit. I'm trying to remember what that hit was. It might have been, wasn't Jonathan Aranda. Jonathan Aranda, he was the lone walk, but there was 1 hit for Skenes. Even I think there was a bit of an error as well that got a runner on for Skenes, but 7 strikeouts, had control over all of his pitches. It took him a minute, an inning, not going to lie, for him to, reel in some of the control on his fastball especially, but from the second inning onward, he was just a buzz saw, Paul Skenes. The changeup, probably his most dangerous pitch, the splitter, still looks damn good. Maybe one of the best pitches in all of baseball there. You got the fastball that was lively, running up and out of the zone. Hitters couldn't catch up to it. There was one of the ugliest swings I've ever seen on a Paul Skenes fastball from Alejandro Kirk, where the pitch so fast, batters, they're almost, predetermining in their mind whether they're going to swing or not. Ball was above Kirk's head, and he still swung at it for a strikeout. But Skenes, he was dealing last night, midseason form, delivered the most strikeouts by any U.S. pitcher over the last 3 World Baseball Classics in that one outing right there. And guess what? He's going to go again. And if he was juiced up for that first game in the red, white, and blue, I expect him to be juiced up for the next game as well, which will probably be the semifinals. I believe he is still scheduled to pitch in the semifinal game against whatever team. So oppose him. If it were up to me, I'd, delay a Skenes start till the finals and let him go against what I would assume would be one of the Dominican Republic or Japan to get the ace out there for Team USA. It's a shame Tarek Skubal is not going to pitch anymore in this tournament. Would have been nice to have maybe Skubal pitch in the semifinals and Skenes in the finals, or vice versa. I don't really care. But Skenes last night, dominant, looked like he is ramping up really, really nicely, continuing that progression from the start of spring training with the Pirates to now this. And then if he, is 75% of what he was last night against Team Mexico, we are in for a hell of a show this year for Skenes, and he should be ready coming up here on March 26th against the New York Mets up in New York. So excellent stuff from Skenes. Also, a bunch of cool things from Skenes as well. He did invite the entire Air Force baseball team to Houston to watch him pitch versus Mexico. They showed them quite a few times throughout the game last night. That was pretty cool. Skenes, I've said Mr. Q Country Roads, actually warmed up to a new song. Wonder if it's a one-time thing or if it's going to be something new. He warmed up to the Top Gun opening song, so that was hilarious as well. But good stuff from Paul Skenes. Really set the tone for Team USA last night. Had a bit of, command issues in the first inning, but still was a 1-2-3 inning. And then from there on out, he was untouchable. Untouchable. And like I said, he could have gone a whole hell of a lot longer if this was, a mid-season game right there. So good stuff from Skenes. Good stuff from Team USA all the way around. We were live for that game last night. A few of you were here. They get the 5-3 win, home runs from Aaron Judge and Roman Anthony, a Red Sox and a Yankee teaming up. Who would have thought? That was the difference. 5-3, the final score, and the U.S. beating Mexico for the first time since 2006. They have lost, Team USA, their previous 3 matchups against Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. Turns out you throw out the juggernaut Paul Skenes out there. He is a streak breaker. And there you go. Team USA defeating Mexico last night. They now have clinched a spot in the quarterfinals. 3-0 at top of Pool B. Behind them now in Pool B, you have Italy, Mexico, Great Britain, and Brazil all the way down in 5th place. Italy, Team USA will face tonight. They are 2-0. They are led by one of my favorite former Pittsburgh Pirates, Francisco Cervelli. But that game will be at 9 o'clock. It'll be Nolan McLean who will be pitching for Team USA. He a member of the New York Mets. But good stuff from Paul Skenes, midseason form. Excited to see that. I had to talk about it first thing because just so awesome, so exciting. Not only to watch baseball and watch them represent your country proudly, but when you get arguably the best player on the team, definitely the best pitcher, but best player on the team as well. You got, your top guy doing stuff like that for your country. It's a really special feeling, and it's awesome. So good stuff from Skenes last night, Team USA. Hopefully they continue rolling along tonight. Have not decided yet when I will go live again for a Team USA World Baseball Classic game. Do I go live for the quarterfinals game and run all the way through the finals? I'm not sure. Definitely will find a way to be live one more time when Skenes pitches again here in the WBC. And then we'll probably be live as well for the final of the World Baseball Classic too. So at least 2 more WBC games coming up on deck. Hopefully you guys check those out whenever those get scheduled. 7 of you in here already on this Tuesday evening. Going to be real honest, after I'd say 5 hours we were on stream last night, this stream here tonight going to be a bit shorter than usual, and we'll get into SCSR 60. Also, would like to have the stream wrapped up before 7 o'clock here tonight. Want to tune in to that Penguins-Hurricanes game because this is the start of the gauntlet for the Pittsburgh Penguins. More on that here in a little bit. Going to get back into some Steelers free agency updates right now. A few more comments before we do that from Concepts here. Second round punter is a fair compromise. We both get what we want, Concepts. I get my first round wide receiver, even though they added Michael Pittman, and you get a second round punter, even though we brought back Mr. Johnston. So I think we all win in that scenario. Concepts also here. Skenes is the GOAT. Bill Berg, yeah, stole that one from Steelers beat writer Brooke Pryor. She put that out there on Twitter. I saw it like 2 minutes before we went live. Just thought that was hilarious, calling him Bill Berg. But yeah, Skenes definitely the GOAT. Back into Steelers free agency. We do have a tiny bit of new news from yesterday. Obviously, day one of the free agent frenzy around the NFL yesterday. That was just one big storm of, big story after big story, some of which featured the Pittsburgh Steelers. Today, not so much news, but we do have a little bit of more details on the moves the Steelers made yesterday and today, and maybe on some things that could be ahead for the black and gold. First off, for the Steelers, that big trade they made yesterday, acquiring Michael Pittman from the Indianapolis Colts. Colts made the decision of bringing back wide receiver Alec Pierce on a 4-year, $116 million deal that then put them I believe, up over the cap. They needed to save some money to make some other room, so they get rid of their longtime WR1 Michael Pittman. He comes to the Steelers. All we knew this time yesterday was that it was a late round pick swap for Michael Pittman between the Steelers and the Colts. Those exact picks we do now know. It is a 6th round pick and a 7th round pick. I assume those are both in this year's draft, 2026. So no idea what numbers those picks are right now. I'd have to go look it up, but it is a 6th round pick and a 7th round pick. I was going to wonder, was it going to be, because this is a good wide receiver too. This is not just like a garbage guy with a garbage contract that the Colts are getting off the book here for cap relief. This is a good player, damn good player, Michael Pittman. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's not your traditional 6th and 7th round swap. Maybe it's like Steelers give up a 4th and the Colts get a 6th, or the Steelers give a 4th and the Colts give up a 6th. The Steelers give up a 5th and the Colts get a 7th. Instead, it is that, last 2 rounds swap that you see a whole bunch here. 6th round pick for a 7th round pick. So Steelers doing some savvy business work there. Also locking up Pittman, of course, to that 3-year, $59 million contract. With the signing of Pittman yesterday, we talked about this a little bit. The Steelers now the 5th highest wide receiver room in terms of payment in the NFL. So now you got Pittman and Metcalf doing the heavy lifting there. We'll see if the Steelers do any more work here in free agency coming up over the next few days. One wide receiver option went off the board today. We'll get to him in a little bit. More on the Jamel Dean signing that the Steelers made yesterday, 29-year-old corner. He's going to be opposite one Joey Porter Jr. Jamel Dean contract, 3 years, $36.75 million, $12 million fully guaranteed. His cash for 2026, $13.5 million. Some more details on the Dean contract. It is a $5.5 million cap hit this season, since most of the year 1 salary is in a signing bonus. The number will then jump to a $16 million cap hit in 2027. And also Omar Khan, being the savvy numbers and salary man that he is, apparently the Steelers can get out of the Jamel Dean contract as early as next year with a post-June 1 cut. So looks like Dean, realness here, it's a 1-year deal at $5.5 million in cap hit. The rest of it is, a signing bonus here. His cap jumps to $16 million next year. We'll see if the Steelers end up keeping him. Also, not going to rule out that this time a year from now, maybe Omar Khan does some sort of restructuring with Jamel Dean's contract. But 29 years old, Jamel Dean, coming off a best season for him. Good deal for the Steelers, but also they leave themselves a back door cracked open that they could slide out at a moment's notice next year should Dean fail to meet their expectations. So some more savvy business work there by Omar Khan. And then the third of the big moves that the Steelers had yesterday, this was right at the end of our first live stream last night. The Steelers signing running back Rico Dowdle, the 27-year-old, 6 foot, 215-pound running back. Steelers really establishing a big physical backfield now with Dowdle, Caleb Johnson, and Jalen Warren. Warren, the shortest of the group, but we know that he for sure likes to throw his body around and initiate contact rather than receiving it. Dowdle coming off of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He had 2,155 rushing yards over the past 2 seasons. That is 11th among all running backs. And also, Dowdle just one of 11 running backs with 1,300 scrimmage yards in each of the past 2 seasons. So Dowdle, obviously a nice weapon for the Steelers got, and also at a pretty good price too. We did not know this until late last night. It is a 2-year, $12.25 million deal for Rico Dowdle. Multiple things about that contract I like. First off, you get a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher. That is awesome. You get him at a price that still, shows that at best or at worst, it's going to be a split backfield committee between him and Jalen Warren. Warren is still going to have that opportunity to be a number one guy. It's not like we paid, to bring in Kenneth Walker here. And speaking of Kenneth Walker, that's the third best thing that I like about this deal. Kenneth Walker, he signed a 3-year, $45 million deal or something with the Kansas City Chiefs. Got paid big money. You look at the stats, not that much of a difference, honestly, when it comes to Dowdle and Kenneth Walker. The only difference is that Walker, he was on the Super Bowl winning team, won Super Bowl MVP, so you get more of a luxury brand name there. But, take a look under the hood. Not really that much of a different player here. So a damn good acquisition by the Steelers right there. As for what they did over the past 24 hours, a little bit under that, Steelers, another late night acquisition that we did not get to talk about yesterday. Azizi Otememwo, Steelers backup defensive tackle. He will be brought back on a 1-year deal. That is the third player now that the Steelers have brought back that were slated to be free agents. They brought back Asante Samuel and Cole Holcomb yesterday morning. Now add Azizi Otememwo on top of it. Going to be honest, never really heard of Otememwo last year until the Steelers signed him. And for the brief spurts, when he wasn't a healthy scratch that he got put in there for the black and gold, I thought he held his own. So him fighting for, another spot on this D line, I'm cool with. And the one you see on screen right now, Cameron Johnston is back. Ladies and gentlemen, this just happening a few hours ago. Steelers announcing that they are bringing back Johnston on a 1-year deal. Johnston, of course, was with the team back in 2024 and was supposed to, have a role with this team, be the team's number one punter. Ends up suffering an absolutely brutal knee injury in week 1 of the 2024 season against the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers end up bringing back Cortlis Waitman, he then does really well for the Steelers, so well that Johnston ends up getting cut last offseason, and Waitman becomes the Steelers' number one punter. And now with Waitman, I think he is a restricted free agent, so the Steelers might not tender him right now. Bringing Johnston back at 34 years old, looks like we could be in for another Cortlis Waitman versus Cam Johnston camp battle. If not, it might just be Johnston's time all the way around this time. Spent parts of last season with both the Giants and the Bills, so he did stay active last year. We'll see what we get from Cam Johnston this time around. Also, I wonder if this is a bit of a connection to Mike McCarthy or maybe the special teams coordinator, Danny Crossman. Trying to think here. Don't think Johnston punted when Crossman was with the Dolphins, but Johnston did play before with the Houston Texans, so McCarthy saw bits and pieces of him down there in Texas. I mean, we'd have to go really into the archives to find out if there's any connection between Waitman and a member of this team. Maybe it's just got a rough deal first time around, ended up getting hurt. Maybe it's the old Mike Tomlin cliche, guys are not going to lose their jobs because of injury. So maybe Waitman getting a chance to claim that back once again here for the Steelers. Was not expecting to go into 5 minutes of punter talk here tonight, but that's the latest for the Steelers on moves they have made in free agency. On to what's next, though. Multiple things are on deck here for the Steelers. We heard from 2 Steelers beat writers last night on what the Steelers' next move in free agency is expected to be, and both of them thinking along the same wavelength here. Jerry Dulac, Mike DeFabo, both cover the Steelers. Both of them saying it is expected to be a guard that the Steelers are going to target next in free agency. Isaac Seumalo leaves for the Cardinals yesterday, so now left guard is open, to say the least. I mean, the guy that would maybe on roster fill that the best right now would be Spencer Anderson, who, I think Anderson's more, I like him more as a, bounce all around the offensive line, plugging leaks when a guy goes down for bits of the season rather than be your number one at left guard. So left guard, probably going to be the next target for the Steelers here. There's tons of guard options available out there. Wyatt Teller from the Browns, Elgton Jenkins, who I mentioned, is the top guy I want. Just got released yesterday from the Green Bay Packers, has multiple connections to both coaches and players on the Steelers roster. A couple other guards as well that I don't have a list popped up in front of me right now, but guard, the next target for the Steelers. I'm cool with that. Also, Mike DeFabo said that a true free safety for the Steelers, maybe some tackle insurance, specifically on the left side for Broderick Jones with the uncertainty in his neck injury, and even another wide receiver. Those could be on deck for the Steelers, and maybe also, this is not DeFabo saying this is me, maybe a linebacker could be in the future here for the Steelers, looking on that front. They didn't add a linebacker yesterday, but they could here soon enough by subtracting one, according to some rumors out there in a report by Nick Harris, who covers the Dallas Cowboys. Apparently, the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, and a couple other teams are inquiring about linebacker Patrick Queen of the Steelers. So Queen, we know he's in the last year of the big contract he signed 2 seasons ago. Queen, cut casualty. We had those questions heading into this offseason. Don't think, his production was so horrid that he deserved to be cut, but now he could be traded, and we could see maybe a move like what Omar Khan made yesterday, a late round pick swap where we send Patrick Queen on his merry way. I would be okay if they kept him. Thought, some people were a little bit too harsh on his performance last year. I was certainly not one of them. But also with Queen, I'd be not heartbroken should he be traded, because Steelers, be nice time, with uncertainty about your future. You might as well start finding out what you have in certain pieces. Peyton Wilson, he's now heading into his 3rd or 4th year in the league. You'd like to find out for sure what type of linebacker he is before you need to decide whether to pay him or not. Also, good linebacker draft class, at least at the very top. Steelers have interviewed. They interviewed multiple linebackers at the combine, and especially like some of those top guys, Jacob Rodriguez, who you could scoop up in the 2nd round, maybe. Some 1st round guys, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, they're going to go at the top, but there is a decent class of linebackers. Anthony Hill from Texas, Jake Golday, who the Steelers met with from Cincinnati. Same thing with Bryce Betcher from Oregon. Betcher seems like a dude who's going to run through a brick wall for his team. So just putting that out there that Patrick Queen could be on the move. That is the latest rumor surrounding that front. And then, of course, you got the quarterback situation as well. Much rumblings about who the Steelers quarterback is going to be. Everybody still, well, not everybody, but mostly everyone still believes it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. But the Steelers, apparently, they are starting to do some due diligence. Mike Garafolo, NFL Network insider, said Steelers are nosing around the free agent quarterback market. This is a contingency plan if Rodgers does not come back. Garafolo says the Steelers do not have an answer from Rodgers and that they don't know what he is doing. That's not a good look, especially now you are over 24 hours into free agency. You've already seen Malik Willis go off the board for big money. You got Kenny Pickett, who went to Carolina. Not that he was a real option for the Steelers here. And today, 2 more quarterbacks gone. Geno Smith gets traded from the Vegas Raiders to the New York Jets for a late round pick swap. And Gardner Minshew, he goes to the Arizona Cardinals. So Steelers now sniffing around options. We'll see what's actually going to happen. Feels like we're in the same position last year, to be honest, where free agency opens, some of these quarterback options go off the board, and now you're left wondering, like, all right, Steelers, what are we doing here? Sign one of these guys, or else you're going to be left, going off the scrap heap here. Still think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I think Adam Schefter said so, that the Steelers are hoping Rodgers comes back. Schefter also said that Kirk Cousins could definitely be an option for the Steelers. So two old, immobile guys past their prime right there. Excited for that. But, I mean, just rough look right now for the Steelers quarterback situation. And again, we kind of knew that this was going to happen ever since Rodgers went on McAfee last week and said, don't have a contract offer for the Steelers. I haven't made a decision. Kind of knew that he was just going to, just take his time again and wait for the Steelers to come crawling back to him. And we're left here, left to suffer the consequences again as fans. Just, you can really tell the by the tone of my voice how ugly of a situation this is and how it is going to continue to be that way. Last thing here, things that directly affect the Steelers. Apparently, Adam Schefter today, Pat McAfee show, said despite speculations, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are not interested in trading Brian Thomas Jr. So just like some other wide receivers that have gone off the board, the Steelers not going to get one of those top targets. I mean, unlikely from the start that BTJ was going to be available. Would have loved for the Steelers to get a young, dynamic guy like that. But hey, I'm not going to complain with my piece of Michael Pittman over here. So that's the latest on Steelers free agency. The biggest move of the day. We brought back a punter. Now, who the hell knows what's next? Is it going to be signing a guard? Elkton Jenkins, I'd be really excited about. We'll see if they do anything else besides him. A safety. A few safeties went off the board yesterday. What's left on that front? We'll have to see here, but it's not looking like we're gonna have another super sexy, splashy move for the Steelers for the rest of the free agency period here. We might need to wait till the draft for that to happen here. That takes us through our first two topics of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the day here in a matter of moments. Not a whole lot that we can deep dive into. It's going to be a game preview for the Pens and a short recap of what the Bucks did last night in their spring training game for the most part. Back here to the comment section. Concepts. You think there's really any chance Queen gets traded? Rumor Dallas offering a fourth. Steelers demand a second, but no actual source from what I've seen. So who knows if it's true. Not sure if you would count that Nick Harris or whoever as a credible source. Does have a decent following. That Harris, including, some, I think, beat writers that the Steelers cover. So if he is reporting, I'm going to take it that there's some realness right there. Queen for a fourth. I take it. Not going to lie. I'm glad that the Steelers are demanding a second. You want to get as best of a deal as you possibly can. But Queen, last year of his contract, we know he's had some, play and injury issues in the past. You can see finally what you have in Peyton Wilson, and also that, let's say it is a fourth round pick. You took Peyton Wilson in the fourth round a few years ago. You got Nick Herbig, I think, 1 year in the fourth round as well, or fifth round. Jack Sawyer, I think, was a fourth round pick last year. Steelers have been finding good value in defensive players in the fourth round right there. Could you get a guy that can maybe turn into a Patrick Queen for you in the fourth round? Not going to rule that out. So rather, keep Patrick Queen and have him just for one more year, because we all know this will be his last year with the Steelers. There's no way that they would bring him back, or that he would come back should he hit the free agency market next year after a good year. I'm just saying I'd rather take the fourth round pick, draft someone, see what you can get out of 3 or 4 seasons from one of them, rather than just hold on to Queen for one more year. Because this team still don't think it's going to be going anywhere, despite what Art Rooney II and Mike McCarthy say. I like Waitman, but I still think we should have kept Cam last year. Contract probably is the main reason for that. Now he's probably vet minimum. Yeah, agree with that. Is he like the Russell Wilson of punters here? Things fizzle out one place, you go to another there, you get injured, you stink a little bit, and now he's back here on a vet minimum. Maybe the Steelers do get a bit more out of him here. Glad to have him back. Just either or guy at punter, I'll be cool with. Jets have what, 50 million or more invested into the quarterback room and nothing but backups. Reminds me of the Browns a little bit. Yeah, it is hilarious. They still got they still have Justin Fields, or did they cut him? But they got Geno there. Yeah, just funny, hilarious stuff from them. Definitely, I think you can make out right now what teams are going to be going for quarterbacks in next year's draft. That's for sure. Or at least, with not having this draft be completed yet, because now you got Gardner Minshew. He's starting out in Arizona. The Jets are just, cycling through guys, throwing stuff at a wall, seeing what sticks. The Browns, I'm sure they have some sort of faith in Shedeur, but we'll see how long that lasts. And then the Steelers here, it's either going to be a Will Howard or a Mason Rudolph or one of these old quarterbacks like a Cousins, Rodgers. If you even heard Joe Flacco's name get floated out, that definitely would have been a move Mike Tomlin would have made, but no, not so much this iteration of the Steelers. And yes, concepts, we did get duped yesterday. Those are just smoke. Did see that. Came from a goof account, so no need to worry about that at all. 4 of you in here on this Tuesday night. Not much brewing here today in the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency world, but the rumors are still hot of possible moves that could be made in the future. We now pivot here, ladies and gentlemen. Going to begin to wrap up the show here with our extra Pittsburgh sports news segment of the evening. Wrapping up shop a little bit early tonight. On to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. I looked to my right at NFL Network, and they got a running back carousel segment going on here where they put heads of running backs over I guess people on carousel ponies, and I saw Rico Dowdle right there for a second. Isaiah Pacheco, he signed today with the Detroit Lions, and looks like we got a breaking news signing here. This is NFL Network breaking this to me, and it does relate to the Steelers here, so let me hit this real quick. Looks like the Cleveland Brownies, they just made a move. They signed linebacker Quincy Williams to a 2-year deal, I believe. Let me find this here. Where's that Quincy Williams news at? I just saw it on there, waiting for it to pop up here. It's like Packers are signing Sky Moore, wide receiver. That's interesting. Elgton Jenkins is signing a 2-year deal with the Browns. Are you shitting me? Well, there goes that. The Browns explored trading for Elgton Jenkins, and they sat tight. They now get him upon his outright release. So never mind on the Elgton Jenkins front. That's that just broke as we were live here tonight. So no chance for the Steelers to maybe reunite Jenkins with McCarthy and Rodgers and a couple of other coaches McCarthy brought. So 2-time Pro Bowl center Jenkins is now going to go and face the and play for the Cleveland Brownies, because they absolutely have no one on their offensive line. But now they've added 3 guys at least. They got Titus Howard at right tackle. They got Jenkins at center, and they also yesterday threw a bag and a half at Zion Johnson, the guard for the LA Chargers, and they also re-signed Tevin Jenkins. Notable hole left on their O-line is at left tackle. So I assume they're going to have Johnson at right guard, Titus at right tackle, Jenkins at center, we got 2 Jenkins here. Elgton Jenkins and Tevin Jenkins. I'm going to assume there's no relation there, because one, I think, is older than the other by a good bit. I don't know. So we got two Jenkins on the interior with a Johnson and then Titus Howard. So what sort of offensive lineman whose last name starts with a J or an H are the Browns going to go for next? The Browns, they are throwing money all around here. It's a 2-year, $24 million deal for Jenkins, $20 million guaranteed. No idea here. Steelers would have been interested in that. Be a lofty penny to throw left guard. Guess get ready for Spencer Anderson. If not, the Steelers maybe looking offensive line in the first round again. That just became so much more real all of a sudden, in my opinion. So Jenkins to the Browns. See in here, where's the Browns signing linebacker Quincy Williams, I thought. Let me make sure that that's still here as well. See here. Yeah, right there. Browns, Quincy Williams, 2-year, $13 million deal, $9 million guaranteed. So the Browns, they keep making moves. That's their Devin Bush replacement, too, by the looks of it. Bush got paid by the Chicago Bears. So one interior offensive lineman that the Steelers really wanted and a pretty decent linebacker the Browns have added here today. Outstanding. See what other signings are going on. Caden Ellis going to the Saints after being with the Atlanta Falcons. 3-year, $33 million deal for him. Okay. Well, that sucks. That sucks. There goes Jenkins. No reunion. Elgton just became Elfton. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. He did go to Elfland with Brownie the Elf. I don't get the Browns. They're named after a color. Their mascot is an elf, and yet they call themselves the Dog Pound because they're a bunch of dogs. We're all over the map right there. Kind of like with the direction of their organization. But Elgton Jenkins is gone. That stinks. Anyways, on to the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the night. We'll see where the Steelers pivot from there. One place they could pivot, the Steelers, is still on the free agent market, or at least we'll see where else they go. Some other names besides Jenkins went off the boards. Romeo Doubs, we mentioned. He's going to the Patriots, a 4-year, $70 million deal. That's a good bit of cash getting thrown Dobbs' way. Also, the Baltimore Ravens, they continue to lose players left and right. They just now have officially lost Charlie Kohler, one of their tight ends. They had 3 pretty decent tight ends. The Ravens trying to copy the Steelers, or maybe the Steelers trying to copy them. I don't know. They still have old as hell Mark Andrews, but yesterday they lost Isaiah Likely to the New York Giants, and they also lost their TE3, Charlie Kohler. He's going out west to the LA Chargers. So look for maybe the Ravens to draft a tight end. I'm hoping they don't get a Kenyon Sadiq, the speedy tight end from the Oregon Ducks, but we'll see where they go there. One guy that is available that I wouldn't mind seeing the Steelers get, apparently Jaquan Brisker. You want to talk about going and getting a safety here for the Steelers? Jaquan Brisker today posting the eye emoji. That was about 4 hours ago. We do know he's a Penn State product, and tons of Steelers fans and Eagles fans like to see him back in Pennsylvania. We'll see where he goes. One of the top safeties in this free agency class. And then the last thing on the Steelers here today, happy birthday to Steelers legendary defensive back Rod Woodson. Tons of birthdays in Steelers land over the past week or so. Back into hockey here. Like I said, Pittsburgh Penguins tonight begin a brutal road trip where they start tonight in Raleigh, North Carolina against the Metropolitan Division leading Hurricanes. They then go out west for a 3-game set with the Vegas Golden Knights, Utah Mammoth, and Colorado Avalanche, only to then go back to Raleigh and take on the Hurricanes once more. They play the Hurricanes like 3 times in 14 days or something. So going toe to toe, back to back to back, pretty much with the team at the top of your division. That is rough. It's also going to be the 600th NHL game for Pens GM Kyle Dubas tonight. Didn't know we were keeping track of games for NHL executives. It will be a commendable performance tonight, more than that, for the Penguins, should they, by some way, get a victory over the Carolina Hurricanes, because they are still without Sidney Crosby. He did skate this morning, but he was only skating with Evgeny Malkin in the morning skate. Both of those paired together on a line. That means they will not play tonight. So you're still without Sidney Crosby. You're still without, at least for a portion of this road trip, Evgeny Malkin with his suspension. And on top of all that, Penguins are going to be down some other guys tonight. And this is rough. Justin Brazeau did not play Sunday against Boston. His day-to-day upper body injury has now been changed to week to week. Sam Girard, Penn's new defenseman, who they brought over recently from the Colorado Avalanche, was struggling early on in his Penguins tenure, being paired up with Chris Letang, but played much, much better against the Bruins Sunday when he was paired with Ilya Solovyov. He's now day-to-day with an upper body injury. And then this guy here, maybe the least impactful loss to the Pens lineup, Kevin Hayes, upper body injury day-to-day. He's just been a healthy scratch. But got to tell you, we have maybe another forward injury, then Kevin Hayes will be needed. So, yeah, just rough right now for the Pens, to say the least. This is the lineup tonight. They're going to be taking on the Hurricanes with the top of the division juggernaut Hurricanes. Ricard Raquel, Brian Rust, Igor Chinakhov, your top line. Please, Raquel, win a faceoff. Tommy Novak with Anthony Mantha and Ville Koivunen. That line could be boom or bust. At least Novak and Mantha played well back on Sunday. Elmer Soderblom with Ben Kindle and Avery Hayes. So 2 kids and a dude who has 3 points to his name this season. And then the fourth line for the Pens, which will probably lead the team in ice time, maybe behind only the Raquel, Rust, and Chinakhov line. So that's the forward group. You got Wotherspoon with Carlson, Letang with Shea, but the third defense pairing, I'm not expecting to see too much ice time tonight. Ilya Solovyov with Connor Clifton, who gets put back into the lineup. So this team, they are going to need to go above and beyond, and it might be their most impressive win of the season, down all these players to take down the Metro leading Hurricanes. Stuart Skinner, he gets the start tonight for the Black and Gold. Also some other games to watch for the Pens tonight, just because we're entering into playoff seeding, the much jockeying for position in the playoff race right now. The Boston Bruins take on the LA Kings tonight. Maybe you would like to see the Kings shut down Boston. The Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Montreal Canadiens. The Leafs, they're pretty much down and out of it right now. Having them beat the Canadiens would be very ideal. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. If the Lightning and Jake Gensel could do us a favor and get the Blue Jackets off of our behinds a little bit, that'd be nice. Florida Panthers, Pens will see them here at the end of the month. I think twice, actually. They take on the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings are, I believe, a wild card team right now. They could, end up being in a fight with the Pens should the Pens fall into a wild card position. And, of course, another team who's right behind the Pens right now, just like the Blue Jackets, the New York Islanders. They take on the St. Louis Blues tonight. So we'll see where things go, but not going into tonight for the Penguins with too many expectations of us winning. So any positives tonight, we are going to celebrate, because down your 2 top players, one of your top forwards who is a surprise this season, plus Sam Girard, a new defenseman who is going to play a lot of minutes for you. It's going to be interesting tonight for the Pens, to say the least. And wrapping up here, ladies and gentlemen, with just some extra baseball talk here tonight. We started the day talking about Paul Skenes. Now wrapping up talking about the Pirates. Last night, as we were live and Skenes was pitching as well, the Bucks were taking on the New York Yankees in spring training exhibition. They ended up falling in a hole 3-0 early on. Apparently, it was a bad start for one Jose Urquidy, and the Bucks down 3-0. They were throwing the Yankees. That is Max Fried, one of their top starters. But the Bucks, they woke up a little bit in the fifth inning. You had Endy Rodriguez. He ended up taking Max Fried deep on a solo shot, 386 feet to left field. So good stuff there from Endy. Really hoping that he's able to pop off this season. That was from the right-handed side of the plate for Endy as a switch hitter. And then Bucks get bases full with 2 outs. And who else but Connor Griffin comes through with a clutch 2 RBI double down the left field line. Smoked it 98 miles an hour off the bat against a proven reliever for the Yankees in Jake Bird. So Griffin, still facing major league caliber pitching, gets a clutch RBI there, shows off the wheels as well. I believe he made it from home to second in like 8 seconds. That is flying. Wouldn't mind him being the opening day shortstop, and I'm hoping it will be the case. I'm still not holding my breath just because of what Ben Cherington has said in the past, but at least, some of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette insiders, 2 of them have Griffin projected to make the opening day roster. We'll see if that, comes to fruition here. But that was from Noah Hiles and I believe Colin Beasley, who said Griffin is projected to make the opening day roster. I'll believe it when I see it, but still showing that he is going to be a legit dude if and when he is in the major leagues this season. Just a matter of when, not if. Last 2 things here on the Bucks for today, or 3 things actually. They did agree to pre-arbitration contracts with 29 of their players. Basically, these are all players on rookie contracts, just agreeing to salaries with them before the season starts. Not too much news there. If the Pirates are still serious about adding a left-handed pitcher, that market is now 1 arm shorter. Today, Zach Littell, former Reds pitcher, he is now signing a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Washington Nationals, with the deal topping out at $9.5 million. A little bit pricey for a guy this late in the free agency, but Littell definitely would have been a quality add, and a veteran one too, to a Bucks lineup. I had him near the top of my list of left-handed starters to add, but no, I guess the Bucks either hope and pray with a Carmen Mlodzinski or Jose Urquidy. If not, Tyler Anderson, former Bucko, he might be getting a call here, or he needs to get a call here soon enough. And the last thing here on the Pirates today, news relating to them. Speaking of the Cincinnati Reds, the Reds' top starter, their ace, Hunter Green, underwent elbow surgery on Wednesday to remove bone chips and loose bodies in his throwing elbow. He's now going to be out for a few months until at least June, as he is scheduled for arthroscopic surgery. So looks like that is going to be it for a while for the Reds. They do got some other pitchers, Rhett Lauder, Chase Burns, some other guys there, but down pretty much their equivalent to Paul Skenes here before the season even starts. That's a big blow to the Cincinnati Reds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is pretty much going to wrap things up here this evening for the news. Covered a lot, talked about a lot yesterday, and then we also ended up watching Team USA versus Baseball Classic. That'll do it for tonight. Going to be a bit of a shorter one this evening, but still a little bit more stuff to talk about today. And we probably will have more to talk about tomorrow. I'll put, a live stream TBD for tomorrow. We'll see if the Steelers end up making any more moves. Pirates will be playing a spring training game tomorrow, and we'll have news tonight. See how the Penguins do here in about half an hour against the Carolina Hurricanes. So that's going to wrap things up here tonight. Final comment here from Concepts, again, crapping on the Browns on the way out. I do know what you're talking about. I saw that NFL meme post where it does look like a bunny pushing a shopping cart if you look really, really close at the Cleveland Browns logo. Did see that. Browns, they going for, a whole animal kingdom and fictional character display here with their logos and such. I don't know. It's best not to try to understand the Cleveland Browns from a brand sense or a football operation sense if you want to keep your insanity. So that's going to do it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all. Appreciate you for stopping by tonight. Appreciate you all for hanging out here last night as we spent the entire night here in this room last night. Hoping that's not the case here tonight. Going to work on SCSR 60 after we're done. So hope you guys go check that out on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing. Like this live stream. Share this live stream. Comment if you have one of those after the fact. Leave those in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Leave you a like. Reply to those. So appreciate it. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR, and we'll be back maybe tomorrow. If not, it'll be Thursday at some point. For more Pittsburgh sports news. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go Pens. Let's go Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Peace.